Why, yes, I call the Balaam story a children's story because it is often taught in Sunday school to small children because of its fantastical ideas of talking donkeys, and children who are groomed up to watch Disney and Pixar it's easy for them to believe and accept talking animals. But in your statement, you say, I used to preach about this when I was a deacon, and that is true. But you then say I go on to badmouth my creator. And would that not make me a traitor? No, it does not make me a traitor. What it makes me is someone who wised up to the fairy tales, who grew up and stopped being a child and started using critical thinking to realize that the stories to which I had been taught as a child, the stories that I researched as a child, the stories I was taught as a teenager, that I researched as a teenager, the stories that I was taught as an adult and researched as an adult, are all fictitious stories that actually have zero evidence or backing to them to validate any of them to be true. You see, that does not make me a traitor, but it makes me an adult. It's make me someone who critically thinks through a process to validate whether or not the stories are true or if the stories are false, so that I then don't make my entire existence based off of false evidence. You see, that is what the Bible is. It is false evidence appearing real, meaning that you have taken some false evidence and then you have made it appear to be real by attaching your experiences, attaching your existence on this book, and therefore making it real so that you can live in fear of this God and his eventual torment or heaven based on a book that has no backing, that has no evidence. And so you then live in fear of your God. And it's not the kind of fear that many try to say is a fear based on respect. It is a fear based on the fear of going to hell, the fear of punishment. It is like a child who does not understand what death is, who does not understand that they ran out in the middle of this parking lot and they were hit by a car, the pain and anguish that they may or may not go through, the pain that their family would go through, the ceasing of the existence of their life. A child may not understand that, but through parents using whatever type and form of punishment they decide, they invoke a level of fear within their children to not run out in the street, although they don't understand why not to run out in the street. It is the fear that they have of retribution from their parents that keeps them from running out into the streets until they become old enough to understand why they shouldn't run out into the street and get hit by a car. That fear that the child had is not a fear of reverence. That fear that the child has is a fear of the punishment. And this is the God that you believe in. Your fear of this God is not a fear of reverence, but it is a fear of the punishment of this God, of going to hell if you don't worship this God, if you don't follow his tenets and be obedient to this God, regardless of how ridiculous they may be, of how they don't add up scientifically, and how many contradictions that they have. You see, I'm not a traitor to this Bible. I'm not a traitor to this religion. I just came into the reality of what this religion is and what this religion is about and how false this religion is. So I became someone who has awakened from this religion, whose eye has been cleared from this religion to be able to see the realities of the universe around me, and to understand that yet, although there are things that I will never have an answer to, I will not be able to answer in this current state of being, that it's okay that if I don't have the answers for them, but what I do know is that the answer is not God of the gaps. Well, I don't know, so it must be God. Because I do not live in fear of your God, I have no reason to feel that there must be some respect that I have to give to this God. Because why would I respect something that does not exist? I can say, sir, that you are a traitor to Allah. You are a traitor to Zeus. You are a traitor to Ra. You would return and say, I cannot be a traitor to them because none of them exist. They are all myths. Is that not the same of your God? For as much proof and evidence as there is for Ra, there is as much proof for your Yahweh, Jehovah, Yeshua, whichever God name you want to give it. You have no proof. And if it doesn't exist, why should I fear it? Why should I respect it? I'll respect the person for who they are and what they do, but I do not have to respect their God and believe in their God. So I am not a traitor to God. But you, sir, are a traitor to yourself and to mankind and as a whole. So what do you guys think? Comment, like, share, and subscribe. And always remember, you have to free yourself to be yourself, because your greatness is non-negotiable. Good journey, good vibrations.